back on this Willys adventure. We gotta make sure this runs before we use to this chassis. It ended up being 4x4 after all. It spins all day but will not start. It is not getting fire. So we gotta remedy that. Let me show you what it's doing real quick, and then I'm gonna start looking for a fix. We went ahead and ordered a few parts that are tune-up related anyway, but as soon as I find the key, there it is. Spins all day long, but no start. So it's good it spins. That means it's not bad, but we got to figure that out. It being 4x4, we're gonna have to retain these push buttons, and then we may retain some of the things, but we're gonna get rid of all the dash. I'm not gonna reuse the dash on the chassis. I may use the firewall, and if I do, then we'll figure it out, but I don't plan on it. So we're going to continue parting this thing out while we are finishing the wagon. And then we will also part out the chassis of this car and the motor. So we'll figure out why it is not firing. My first glance that I looked at when I looked at this thing was the distributor cap. Looks like one of the cheap ones, and it usually, they like to arc, and these burnt marks right here is a good indicator. That's bad probably. And then I also just noticed that this has a split in it going to the coil, so that could also be no reason why I'm not getting any fire, but we're going to go ahead and replace all that stuff anyway. All right, the cap and rotor were toast. Awful. And then someone put a cheap cap on there like I thought they might. Those are aluminum points essentially, and they're corroded. So I think that's going to be 90% of our problem. We just changed the plug wires and the cap and rotor. Well, excuse me, we have not changed the plug wires, just the cap and rotor. We just put new the one new coil wire on because the other one was split. Let's see if she fires over. No way. Okay, so it looks like we have an ABS light on, and it sounds like maybe the muffler's got a hole in it or something, but she's a runner, so we can use this. Well, let's see if she goes in gear. She takes gear. That's awesome. That makes me feel a hell of a lot better about my purchase. Okay, so that being said, I have $450 in this car with the title, everything, title fees and everything. I'll have a title so I can scrap the body, whatever's left. I'm gonna part this thing out, probably make my money back, maybe a little bit more, and then we're gonna get rid of this chassis. I have roughly $450, $500 in this. So if I can sell the chassis engine for roughly that, I have $0. So I'm gonna try to build this car, this mashup, for under $1,000. That is gonna be very tough. Mainly because I'm gonna need nickel and dime parts on this, but also all this glass is gonna have to get cut. Or we use Lexan or a cheaper option. So I'm gonna try to budget build this mashup for $1,000. That is my goal. So moving forward, again, we haven't parted anything yet. I've got somebody coming to buy a fender and a door. I will start totaling at the end of the vehicle what I have in this project. So currently I have $800 of my $1,000 already in this project. Actually, we'll call it $900 to be fair. $500 for this one, I think, roughly, and then $450 on this. So we'll call that, well, that's $950. Anyway, math's not mathing. $950 is what I have in this thing total currently. So we're gonna see if we can get down, keep it under $1,000 at all times. So right now I'm not buying any more parts. I bought the $450 in this is tax, title, everything, and then I bought wires, spark plugs, and a distributor cap and rotor button. So that's roughly 50 bucks from Rock Auto. So that's 50 bucks in that. So again, we have 950-ish in this total. We're gonna try to keep it $1,000. No, never go over $1,000. That's the goal. So that's where we're at. So we have a runner on this side, so confirm we can build it. I'm hoping I can part this thing out for more than what I got in it. Same thing with this one, but I will keep a running total moving forward, and let's play the game. All right, we are in the running, and I've got brakes. Blazer definitely have an exhaust leak, and I definitely have a oil leak, probably rear main and or oil pan or both. But what we do with any, we're gonna go torture test it. So we're gonna go do a few donuts in the field. Oh yeah, that's definitely an exhaust leak. I'm guessing the cats were bad and they cut a hole to relieve it so it'd run. That's not a big deal. We're probably gonna fix all that anyway, but for now she runs and drives and has brakes. Yeah, has brakes. So go up in here in the high grass, see if we can spin it around. Woo! Down the hole. Woo! That was a giant hole I hit. That was a little rough. Sorry guys, I found a rut and I'll drop my phone out the window. Should have probably mounted a GoPro, but I didn't. So made it through the donuts without shutting off. So that's more than the Jaguar did. Though the Jaguar is just out of fuel. This thing says it has half tank, so that's probably 6 months or old or more. So it runs pretty good considering. Again, 270,000 miles, and all I needed was a cap and rotor. So who knows? We are back. Obviously the Willys are right there. I have somebody, I think this thing's going to start getting parted out soon. So far this is not high on my priority list, but it will be the next build. So if parts start selling, then I will probably start ripping it apart more, but as they start selling, I will have to keep covered this engine trans and then also the other one until the chassis sells and I get that body off. So we'll work on it some, but it's not going to be a full-time thing. It's when I don't have anything for the wagon or I'm waiting on parts. So we're down to the final things on that. So hopefully soon that can get done. Well, apparently it did not like the donuts I did. The airbag light's on, the ABS light on, and now the service full drive light's on. I went to put it in neutral and shift into a different gear and it's being temperamental, so it may just be stuck. Who knows, we'll figure that out. But right now it's yeah, so it's a project. Don't expect anything any less. Well, as y'all can see, I went a little nuts on starting the removal of the body. I already have the driver front fender and door, passenger front fender and door sold. So I started removing that stuff to get sold. In the process, I started removing the front things and basically unplugged stuff I know I don't need, and then cranked it a time or two to make sure everything runs. The hood is just on there, it's barely sitting. It'll keep this covered for now. Right now I have the ECU pinned up here. The battery box is somewhat up there for now, so it can be moved still as is. I haven't got a plan together whether I'm going to try to keep the firewall and just retain all the electronics and everything. I'll make that decision probably after I get the front end off of this and do some measuring, but right now it runs, drives as is still, like it sits, so that's good. We're going to keep parting these things out, and currently we're still sitting at $950. That's $400 in this plus $50 for parts to get it running. So we're at $450 on this, and then we're at $500 on this. Total of $950, so that is $50 left of our budget. So technically I can spend $50 right now, and that's at our budget. But again, I plan on getting most of that money back on that one and most of the money back on the suspension, and then we can smash the two together, and I'll have enough budget for windows and all of those small things that are going to go. But essentially, this thing runs and drives now. It does have some 4x4 issues, which in taking this tire off, I found the ABS, the wheel speed sensor is toast. So that's probably the whole reason, but we'll scan it later and figure that out. But as of now, I don't really care. And now that the fender's off, it makes spark plugs a heck of a lot easier. I can get to both sides a lot easier, so we'll finish doing those in the wires that we didn't do the other day. But she does run, and like I said, we'll make some money back. When these fenders sell, I'll update the totals at the end like I said I'm going to start doing. So that is where we stand as of today. Passenger fender and passenger door is sold, $100 for those two. So that puts us down at $350 for this car. So again, the goal is to get down to zero. That we basically a free Blazer by the time we part it out, and or maybe a little bit more money for the budget. But currently we're sitting at $850 for the two right now. We'll try to get some more parts sold on Facebook Marketplace or wherever. In the meantime, we're going to start taking and start probably taking this front end off of this to make it easier, lighter to get this body off without causing damage. But before we start unbolting fenders, I'm going to try to straighten out this fender as much as possible and make it match this over here. That is free. We don't have to have anything in that. There's no money. So we can start doing that. I'm going to probably start trying to inch and pull and bang that dent out, and then start taking off this front clip of this car. All right, so when I first picked this up, I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do with it. Once I got into it, I quickly decided I had an idea. I keep seeing all these other builders getting these, budget builds, but then they get given $5,000 budgets from companies with free stuff. While that's great and good, I wanted to know if I could actually build a hot rod on a, decent budget. I'm not saying $1,000 is a decent budget, but that's what we're going to try to build these two with. So we're going to take this Willys body and we're going to put it on this S10 chassis. Now, I've given myself a $1,000 budget total to try to get this thing running, driving, and roadworthy. I assume a windshield will be considered roadworthy. The rest of the glass, we'll see. I am currently at $950 in this total project. So I have about $500 in this project, in the Willys body and chassis, and I have about $450 in this Blazer chassis and body with a clear title. So I have $50 left to spend until I start selling something. As you can see already, I've started stripping this thing for parts. So we have listed parts for sale on this one, and we have started listing the chassis and driveline for this one. So that money made back from there will go toward the budget. So until I sell something, which I've already sold a door and a fender for $100, that's money off. So at the end of every video moving forward on this project, I'm going to total up where we're at right now. So that is the goal, is can you build a actual budget build hot rod with no help from aftermarket companies, anything like that. So I got lucky. I traded a trailer for this one that I had $500 in. And then I bought this one outright, total for everything, $450, and that includes $50 worth of tune-up parts to get it running. It was not running. I had introduced this project with an earlier video, but I decided to essentially take the two, give myself a minimal budget, and see what happens. Now, there is a few concerns. I am concerned with how much glass is going to cost for this, so I may end up using plexiglass or something different. I'm not sure. I may have some glass laying around that I may try to just cut down myself. I haven't got that far. First things first, I wanted to strip this body off, and get parts sold so I have my budget back. I may end up selling this body back for more than what I paid for it. We'll see in the end, and I may have a little bit larger budget than the $1,000, if that makes sense. So again, the goal is not to, clown other creators. That's whatever they want to build is on them. I just know that the last couple budget builds I've seen is, yeah, we got $10,000 to build this car. Can we do it to race? And then they get $20,000 from sponsors. While I get it, and that's what sponsors are paying for, and that's what helps, fund some of these builds, I just want to get back to hot rodding. So you can call this what you want, rat rod, hot rod, it doesn't matter. I am not painting it with a $1,000 budget. That's clear. So you see where we're at now. I will start stripping this body off and keep it running and driving. I will fill y'all in as we go, but that is the goal right now, is to get this thing built, and who knows, I may give it away, I may sell it for another project and keep doing these things. I don't know, probably the more interest y'all show in it, the more I will probably lean on giving it away or trying to find a home for it or trade for something else. Everything for sale currently. We have a 67 F350, no motor, has everything else. We have short bed Chevrolet pickup. I've got to figure out what year and also how much I want for this one, and then we'll go ahead and see if anybody wants this before I start messing with it, because it should run. That's 62 C20 with a 283 still in it. We have a 72 Chevy C10 Cheyenne fully loaded. Needs a few small things and it should be roadworthy again. I've done most of the hard work under the hood. 3,500 on this one, 2,200 on this. This is an 85 Jaguar with a small block Chevy, and then we have $2,000 on this Ford F100 short bed 72 model. So yeah, just about everything's for sale out here, minus the projects I'm working on, which is the Willys, and even the chassis of that's for sale. So, which that's over there. So Blazer parts and a Willys chassis over there. Anyway, I'll give you another look this way. Let me know if y'all are interested in something before I go working on it too much more. Budget build for $1,000, these two. I have not sold anything else, so we are still $100 for that fender and door. Supposedly there's a guy coming to buy the front clip, what's left of it, minus the fender, Sunday, I believe. So that'll be another $200 and something toward back on what I paid on that one. And then while I don't have really any money to spend on this thing, because I'm $50 from being at my budget, we took this front clip off. When we sell that hood Sunday, we're going to kind of fit check that front just to see what needs to happen or shift with that. Obviously it won't matter until we get this body on here. In a minute I'm going to pull this thing forward so the wheel wells line up and see how close they are, because I actually never did that. So in just a sec I'm going to push this thing forward. I'm going to start getting the body bushings loose and everything loose to lift this body up. And then I've got the hood sitting over there, but I'm probably going to use that to set the body on temporarily. I think it'll hold. We're going to find out. I don't want it sitting on the ground, but I don't have too many other things to set it on right now. So that's going to be the easiest way, I think, for me to get a hold of it. But we shall see. I also thought about pushing it on my rack and using that to lift the body off and then rolling this out. The problem is I don't know what I should set the body on. My trailer is utilized right now, but we'll see. I may can work some stuff around, but for now, we're going to continue on getting these body bushings off. All right, I'm at a stopping point on the wagon, so I figured why not. We pulled this in. We're going to go ahead and get the body off and get this chassis out. Like I mentioned, I remember why I wanted to put a winch in the middle stall under that toolbox, and I'm probably still going to do that at some point, because it makes life a lot easier getting things in here. I had to use my tractor and go real slow with a tire on my back bumper. We didn't do any more damage. That's good. I can straighten what's there out. It was like that before anyway, so we're going to risk this thing up in the air, get the bolts out for the body, drop it back down, then hopefully lift the body up high enough to get it out of here. This should make this a cakewalk. We're gonna get this dangling exhaust out of here. There's another one in the back. We're just gonna scrap those. They're toast. They got a bunch of dirt and rot in them anyway. We'll put that toward the scrap metal fund to put it toward the budget. We gotta get the body mounts loose. And I found some more cancer over here, but we'll tackle that later. It's not that bad, but it's definitely noticeable. Anyways, all the frame mounts are right here. The floors don't appear to be too bad. There's some that I'm a little bit worried about, but for the most part, we're gonna get this thing unbolted and out of here. The biggest thing is gonna be, no, we should be good clear back here. The bumper is gonna come off. I'm gonna keep that, because we're gonna put that, because that's too cool with that. We'll put that on the new chassis somehow. All the body mounts are loose. The only thing we lack is these back two, and someone had welded this thick steel plate to the frame. I guess they were worried about getting rear-ended, but it is real thick gobby welds. So I've got to get this plate out of the way to get these back two, and then check the linkage and some other stuff, and essentially this thing should be ready to come off. Hopefully here in just a few minutes. All right, this is the aftermath of all the nastiness that fell on me trying to get it loose. I'm about to hook my tractor to it and back it back down where it was. I started getting the body up and then realized that it still doesn't do me any good. I would have to put it on a trailer or pick it up with a tractor. So I'll probably pick it up and leave it out there, roll the chassis out forward, out from under it. It was just gonna be easier. It was gonna be a lot of trips, and then I would have had to figure out how to get it off my lift. Both my trailers are being utilized in the next day or two, so I don't want to tie those up either. So best thing I could tell was I slid it back about a ½ inch to 2 inches or so on the frame. My plan is to probably pick it up with either the tractor or pick the front end up and then work it off. But I'm gonna do it down there because the Blazer still has to come in and I have to strip the rest of the body off of that as well. So just a lot to do. I only have one lift, so gonna make my life easier, and we're gonna push this back down. For now, out of the way, at least we know the body is free. So when we do get to that part, we should be good and I can lift it off. Looks like I'm getting done just in time. It is dark and there's thunder and lightning. There you go. There's some thunder and lightning off in the distance. So looks like it's about to come a storm. So I'm gonna get on into bed. Work will be here before I know it. There's a few stars you can see. For the most part, it's cloudy though. As mentioned the other night, we had the body essentially ready to remove on this. We sold the hood, the bumper, and a few other items today, front end pretty much items. He's wanting this front piece as well, but I don't know if I need it, so I'm gonna keep it for now. He's not too far away if he needs to come by it if I decide to sell it. I'm still flirting with the idea of keeping this cowl and sectioning the body onto it. We'll see. I'm gonna have to take some measurements, but sold most of the front end parts for like 205 bucks, I think is what we agreed on. So I am essentially about 150 bucks away from paying this thing off, and then anything else will just be added toward the budget. So that's sweet. Again, I'll total all this up at the end, but she is starting to get stripped down real easy, and then we'll probably start taking the Sawzall and cutting parts off here soon enough.